Hello and welcome to this new video. So in this little lab we are going to use, based on the previous video on the question 20a, we prepared a server where we are going to have a registry for Podman, and from that registry we are going to pull, we are going to log in first, and then we are going to pull an image which we are going to use to run a container on the client server, the client VM, and that's it for this question. The tricky part is that we are going to mount stuff, so we'll go through that. But basically it's important you go through question 20a, because without that you won't be able to log in. You could still change a bit the question and do it without the login, pull directly from some repository online, but I strongly suggest you go through question 20a. If too many people ask for it, I might just do a question 20c and prepare something like without that additional work on the server side, but I think it's better like this. So before I talk too much, I'm going to install immediately the Podman stuff because it takes a little time. So I basically, like this, I'm saying I'm installing everything that's Podman. It takes a little while also during the exam, so don't worry, this is fine. As it's going that, I'm going to talk a bit. So we are going to log in with the student and secret credentials, which we prepared in the previous question. In the exam it will be a bit different, but doesn't matter. We are going to pull, we are going to log in, and then we are going to pull that image. We are going to run the container so that the host opt file directory will be mounted inside the container as this, and this directory, the opt process, will be mounted as data output. Then this kind of container, in this case, will basically convert your text file. So we'll make a little text file and it will convert it into the PDF and store it in the opt process. So basically also store it in a data output, but because it is mounted there in opt process, we will find it in opt process as PDF. So I won't be checking the PDF for quality or something. I mean, I don't think they do either. They just check that the PDF file is there if you place a text file in opt file. So I think, I'm not sure, but I think they are saying like it should be appearing automatically, but I suppose this container runs once, and that's actually why I failed during the exam. So there is a trick, I think, and I think I figured it out, because this was the only part of the questions, the only question within the whole exam which I failed. This is the last one, where actually we create a systemd file, and basically with that it should run automatically at boot, and all the time it should be checking for new txt files and converting them. But I think that container runs only once. Anyway, now the Podman stuff has been installed, so we'll be able to log in. So to do that we use Podman, and then how do we log in with Podman? We say Podman login. That's pretty easy. Then you can check with the help and what you can add in there. In our case, we are going to use the TLS verify equals false, because so we can set it like this. Why? Because I didn't set it up for using TLS in the server side, which is in question 20a. So since we didn't do it, then we will set it to false. Then we give the username. So you find this all in the help. You know, if you log in --help, then you see username is here, it's --u, and password is -p. You can also use the password flag and username flag. This works the same. So if you do this, it will not work. Why? Yeah, because I need to specify where to log in. Am I a bit stupid? So, so before that you say server, which we put in our etc host file, and the port, because that's what we set up in question 20a. So like this, it's gonna, what? It's not working. Maybe, could this be that this has to be equal, although it tells me, yeah, you see, so it has to be equal, it's not space. It's funny, yeah, maybe, yeah, it's weird because when I do it, then it's giving me a space, but actually you need to put an equal sign. Okay, so you can follow this. Probably in the exam, I don't think you use the TLS verify flag, it should be fine, but the rest you need to know. It might prompt you if you don't specify the username and password directly, which is also okay, you just give it there. Then we want to pull the image, so Podman pull. This is also pretty straightforward, but then how will we do it? We will continue to use our little TLS verify equals false, and then it's the same basically. We use this bit, but this time we will say on this server I want to pull what? I want to pull this. So I just copy this and it will pull the image. You see it's pulling the image, very nice. So it's pulling the image from the server, what we set up before here, and then back on the client, it's telling you this image has now this little idea, which is also good, it means it's working. And then we need to create the directories. So we create the directories, make dir p, well we don't need the p in this case, but it's okay. There is opt file, and oh, you see, careful with the typos, that might cost you some points here. So opt processed. So we have now our directories. Now I know in the question, it's not in this one, but in the next question, they will ask us to basically run it as user student. So we want to change the, I already do it here. I don't need to do it here, but we, oh yeah, but then we need to create the student user. So we want to do chown, we need to do the chown student, and for those two, so basically we can copy this, zip, here, and then this is good. So now we have those two directories with the right permission, the right ownership, sorry, and they exist. So now we just need what to, before we run the container, we want to place a file in opt file. So we are going to do an echo, and we will say hello world, this is happy Nico, and you push that into the file, you redirect that into the file, what's the name, in opt file, and then say Nico happy.txt, I don't know, whatever you want, you know. And then you can check that. If I do cat this, it's there. So good, we have the file. So now we can run our little Podman container. So we'll do Podman run. There is an important one there that you don't want to forget. Oof, it's a lot of options, but this is this one, the detach. It will run container in the background. If you don't do it, then well, you will basically need to open another line, another command line interface. So that's a bit annoying. So you want to do podman run detach, or you can write it like this. This doesn't matter, it's the same. Detach, and then you want to do the name. You want to give it a name. So name will be mycontainer, I think, isn't it? You can do it like this, but you can also do it like this normally. I think it's mycontainer, right? Where is it? Run the container. Don't they say in this thing? Run the container. Okay, you know what? I will call it mycontainer. With the name. I will say with the name mycontainer. I thought it was specified, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe I miscopied or something. So let's call it mycontainer. And then we want the volumes. Look here at the bottom, volumes -v from the help. And that's what we're going to use. If you don't know exactly how to use the volume, you can check that out in the man page of Podman. So this is how you put the volume. So you do opt and then file. And then where do you mount this inside the container? Then you specify data input. And then the C Linux permission, which has to be :Z. You need to remember that by heart. This is important, otherwise it won't work. So then we need also the opt processed, and this will be then in data output. And also the column Z, that's also very important, and then server 5000, and the name of the image will be text to PDF and latest. Okay, that should work. Let me see. I'll just enlarge this a bit to see. So Podman run. And then detach, important, don't forget the detach, otherwise it will run in the foreground and it's annoying. Name, you specify the name. The volume, you put the volume, you basically put the local directory on which, the local directory that you want to mount inside the container as data input. Don't forget the C Linux context, the C Linux permission. Then another volume, the OPT processed, which goes in the container into data output with the right permissions. And then what image do you load in there? And that's this one, the TXT to PDF at latest. And we start that. And it's run. It's run. So I think we can do Podman help and see what we have here. And which options do you have? And I think you have here the PS, yeah, list containers. So that's what we're going to use. So Podman PS. And you see that my container is here. And he's already up 20 seconds. Does it run continuously? I don't know, we'll check. Let's check then the OPT processed. Soup. Let's go there and let's have a look. And the file, the PDF file appeared, so that's nice. Now let's go into OPT file. I could do also like this. If I do one back and then I go into file and then I can check. So if I now touch Nico not happy, who knows, maybe it might not work sometimes. I just touch that file, does it automatically appear in the processed? We shall see. And not happy also appeared, so basically it's working, it's really doing its job in real time, so we are good in this question. For me, I really don't know what I did during the exam. I failed this question. For me, it was not doing it in real time. I don't know, it seems that there was a problem with loading the stuff inside the container. I really don't know what I did wrong, but here it works. So do it the same than I did and it should work for you as well. So basically, if I did it like this during the exam, I would have had the 300 points and not a single question, not a single mistake. That would have been great, but well, this happens. I don't know what I did. I was spending half an hour at the end on this question. I don't know what I did wrong, but now it's working. In the next question, we are going to basically do the same thing, but in systemd unit file, we will have a service file where we will automatically start that process upon reboot. And that's it for this lecture. So this lab is finished. Important, remember the detach flag in the Podman run. I will put all those things in the description, but this one is important, and actually this is the most important command line in the whole thing. So, of course, the rest should be done correctly, because otherwise you don't get there, but the Podman run, detach, the name, the volumes, learn how to mount a volume. This is very important. This will almost certainly come in the exam. So you have the -v, and then you say in which directory within your host, in the VM you are on, and what will it look like inside the container. We could also do some exec into the Podman container and show you that you have this stuff in data output and in data input, but yeah, this is really all you need to know, and which image you need to have at the end, and that's it. With that, you should manage this question, which is honestly one of the trickiest in the exam, maybe with the LVMs and stuff. The next one is also tricky with the systemd service unit service file, which you can combine with a timer file, but you don't really need it because apparently it's doing it in real time. So there is a sleep stuff that's doing it continuously, so that's perfect. And that's it for this question. So if you have questions, feel free to ask in the comment. This one is not easy. So, and see you in the next question.